the dunes and cliff, etc. You know, you get the deal. Um, so I went out there tonight. I hadn't expected the beach to be rebuilt, by tonight. But I went out there, expecting, I could do it. Also, I don't know the legality of going out onto the beach at night. So, it might not be legal. I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue. But, barring that, I went out there. And whether or not it's legal, there's definitely a reason that nobody was out there. Because, there was no beach. There was really nothing to stand on. There was nowhere for me to record. And I didn't want to just record, up on the little shack that they have in the dunes where you can look out onto the view of the ocean. I didn't want to record there. So I just came back. Maybe I'll record on the beach at some point. When there is a beach to record on. But I just could not tonight because there was no beach. There was nothing to record on. I don't know, there was a weird smell permeating throughout the air. Honestly, I have no idea which of the very deadly animals are nocturnal. So, who knows? Honestly. So I couldn't record there, but I'm still gonna record here. So I don't know how well you can see me in the mirror, because I think I might be blocking me. But yeah, it goes floor to ceiling, pretty much. I mean, there's a little bit of gap between the ceiling, but, it's pretty sick. This is an empty room downstairs. There's 5 bedrooms here, and this is technically, this is one of them. This is one of the 5 bedrooms. It's completely not furnished because no one has used it ever. And that's because of the fact that my grandparents put this room in the house, when it was being built, specifically so that if there was a point in time where they couldn't climb up the stairs, they could use this for their bedroom instead of the one that they use. It's like, oh, he's rich. It's like, no. I'm really not. Even if my grandparents are rich, I'm still not, because I have no idea the financial situation of my grandparents. I cannot stress this enough. They, from what I've heard, have always been penny pinching and really, do the best to maintain wealth and do their best to even if they have money, act like they don't, literally, the only things they will buy at the grocery store are the things they definitely need and the things that are at the cheapest possible price they can buy. They'll bring home random cake things because they're marked down to $1. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna argue. But it's whenever something needs to be bought, they'll buy it. But they don't spend any excess. And I know, they've got a beach house, and it's that is a sign of wealth. But first of all, I don't have access to any of that wealth, and second of all, they pretend like they don't have access to any of that wealth. I guess it's a good policy. Like, they go and do fun things occasionally, they'll go out and travel occasionally. But for the most part, they kind of just, stay at home. And to be honest, like they're retired, so they don't work. I know that they have rental properties. I have no idea how many. And their family doesn't even know they have rental properties, I don't think. And they're like, I know, like, we don't tell, our siblings that we have rental property or anything because, they'll be jealous or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's fair. I've been to one of their rental properties one time, and that was because of the fact that my grandpa was doing, because, he owns the property, he was doing, like, maintenance on it, like, lawn maintenance. We were trimming a tree bush thing, and we, took all of the stuff, like all the shavings to the dump. It was a lot. Regardless, been to one. I know of a second, I think, maybe. I have no idea how many they have. No clue. Couldn't tell you in a million years. They could have 2. They could have 20. I don't know. I don't know how much money they have. They could have thousands, could have tens of thousands, could have hundreds of thousands, could have millions, I don't know. Like, I'm down here for a limited time, and the money that I'm gonna, like, actually spend when I go out to eat and when I go travel is my dad's. I'm not even getting any of their money. They could be, like, close to broke and just barely making money off of the, properties that they have. They could have massive savings. I don't know. I don't think that they're broke. Like, my granddad has, alluded to that kind of thing before. Where he's like, oh, I don't have the money for this. But I don't know if he's being serious. Like, I don't know if you can tell the confusion and the conundrum here. But genuinely, I have no fucking clue. It kind of drives me crazy. It kind of does. Because it's like, obviously you have enough money to, make a purchase like a beach house. And, like, outfit it with a pool. Obviously you have the money to own rental property. You talk about, like, getting dividends, and instead of, because, my dad gets dividends, and, the dividends just go into the account. They talk about the dividends, and they're like, oh yeah, we just reinvest the dividends. Like, always. They could be just fucking rolling in it, and I would never know. They could be barely scraping by, and I would never know. I literally have no clue. I don't even, it's not my business. Obviously I'm not touching any of their money. So, like, I shouldn't be hung up on it, but it's a mystery. It's a weird mystery. It's especially a weird mystery when you think about the fact that it's like, how long did they work for, like, how long did they work after my dad and aunt got out of the house? Like, because they, live to their needs, and that's about it. They spend the bare minimum on insurance. They spend the bare minimum, and, insurance is not as important as it is in the US, but it's still important. They pay the bare minimum, like life insurance. I don't know about life. They spend the bare minimum on health insurance. They spend the bare minimum on car insurance. I'm sure they're spending the bare minimum on whatever. Probably not on like house insurance, just in case. I don't know. Like literally, I mentioned this before, but they have like a caveat in their insurance that like nobody under 40 can drive on their insurance because nobody under 40 can drive on their insurance because my aunts are 40. They're both definitely over 40. And it just saves them money. But that means I can't drive because legally I'd be able to drive here. You know, even on my American driver's license. But it's just, like they gotta have money. But then it's like, how much did the beach house set them back from the money that they had? How much did their rental properties accrue? I think they've got a manager for their rental properties. How much are they paying the managers to manage those properties? They obviously own them, but how much are they? I don't think no, they don't have pension or anything like that. I don't know what kind of. It's just a lot to think about, There's a lot of variables, and I don't fucking know. I don't think I can fucking know. They don't have an electricity bill, because they paid for the solar panels on their house in cash. So basically, there were two things with solar panels. You could pay for the solar panels in cash, and then whatever excess energy you had from the solar panels, they would send it back to the grid, and you would make money on that. Or you could not pay for the solar panels outright and keep paying your electricity bill, but your electricity bill would go towards paying off the solar panels a bit, but then you would still I don't know. My granddad tried explaining it to me earlier, and I don't really get it. But they paid for their solar panels in cash, so they have no electricity bill, no charge. But that's a horrible unintentional pun. Anyway, not the point. But it's so they don't have an electricity bill. They have tank water, but I think they still have a water bill probably. They pay so little for internet because they really don't use that much. They're not making big downloads. They go on the internet occasionally and they'll use their phones. I think their phones have separate data plans or whatever. I don't know. They're paying the bare minimum for everything, essentially. They have rental properties. I don't know. I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea how much money they have. Because I get, it's oh, I'm not rich, my parents are rich, or my grandparents are rich. It's a thing that rich people say. But if I was rich, I would have no idea, is what I'm trying to say. Plus, even if I was rich, I want to be rich, even if they had $1 million or $2 million, that's rich for normal people, especially since it's in a currency that is worth 64 US cents to the dollar. So even if they had $2 million, it'd be $1 million, and $1 million is a ton in today's economy. I have no idea how much they have on. It's just
It's none of my business, honestly. It really isn't. It shouldn't matter to me. I spent way too long yapping about that. Especially since it's pretty inconsequential. But anyway, I'm gonna be at the beach house for the next few days, so that'll be cool. They don't even have internet here. Like, I'm gonna have to upload this using my hotspot if I even upload this, which I probably will. But it's like they literally, because it's not their main residence, they don't have internet here. Yeah. I have no clue, honestly. Because, like, aside from reinvesting dividends, they aren't really, like, they don't do stocks. The only real investments that they, like, actually have are real estate, but I haven't, it's not important. It's not important. It's a mystery that I will not unravel for a very long time. Okay. Cool. Anyway, hi. Dreams are weird. I might have talked about dreams before, but they're so weird. I don't know if I've ever said this on this YouTube channel, and I never made the YouTube channel that I'm referring to as the alternative to this YouTube channel. But it's funny, because I made a video for another channel. I wanted to be an animator, and honestly, I think anyone could be good at art, you know? But I don't have the patience, and I wish I did. And I wanted to be an animator. And so I fucking Microsoft Paint, not really, but essentially Microsoft Paint drew myself a little fucking penguin avatar, and I was a PNG tuber before PNG tubers existed, and I never got to capitalize on that market. Fuck! I'm just realizing that, because I drew myself like a little fucking penguin, and it was shit. It was so bad. But I just moved it around the screen. I didn't, like, actually animate anything. But that was, like, over a decade ago. Maybe about a decade ago. But, dude, I could have been the original PNG tuber. That sucks. Anyway. Now, I talked about dreams, and there was this one recurring nightmare that I had where my mom forced me to get in a submarine, you know, for like a summer camp. I went down into the submarine. I got really, really claustrophobic. and it fucking sucked, dude. And like this happened like once a year. It was a fucking recurring nightmare. I was like, shit. I never remembered it until it happened again. And then it happened one time, but like my best friend was there. And I was like, okay, like yeah, I'm in a fucking capsule. A capsule that, you know, if we don't make it back up, no one's ever gonna find us and we're gonna die at the bottom of the ocean. But it's low key chill. And that was the last time I ever had that recurring nightmare. And I think I told this other story about, oh fuck, it was this random ass dream. It was pitch black outside, like no stars, no nothing, and it was like this. I don't want to be racist. Not racist, xenophobic. I don't fucking. It was like, I was gonna say a country, not a specific country, like probably one of the European ones, to give a frame of reference, but honestly I've never been to any of them and I don't know where they were. But it was like cobbled pathways for sidewalks and a street in the middle with a bunch of like, the only thing that's coming to mind is like a chocolate factory, which I'm pretty sure is what the building was, but it's like those brick buildings with like the big windows in front. It was a bunch of those down the street, you know, lamp posts, you know, not the modern lamp posts, but like the kind of antique lamp posts and the cobbled, you know, pathways on either side of the street. Strictly black asphalt street, and I think we were riding fucking bicycles of chocolate on the windows, and we fucking shattered them. And I have, like, and by we, I mean a group of assorted people that I knew at one time, at one stage in my life. I don't even think those people were relevant in my life when the dream happened. It was, I don't even know what the fuck was happening there. Anyway, fuck. Oh. I just tweaked my neck so hard. That's embarrassing. Okay. Anyhow, hold on. This is my other phone. It's for cheating on my wife. I wish. Not to cheat on my wife. I do not wish to cheat on my wife. I don't have a wife. I wish I had a wife that I could cheat on. But I wouldn't. But I could. But I wouldn't. Anyway. That's neither here nor there. Honestly, I'm curious as to how the camera angle is and how it works. Oh, I hope it's not too far up. Like, I hope it's not up here, and I've been down here the entire time. It's just fucking not been seeing me. I'm an L cameraman, I really am. I hope I'm not out of frame now. Fuck. Fuck. I have no idea what's happening, camera-wise. I'm not gonna flip the phone to find out, so. This could be all over the place. Anyway. Yeah. So, wild ass dream. Oh, that's my here phone. It was $50, this currency. And it works here. It has a number that's regional, local. I made the cheating on my wife joke, and then I didn't even actually elaborate what the phone actually was. No, that's for here. This is my American phone that I want.
because it has a good camera. That I bought that for $50. It has a fucking potato for a camera. Like, no. Anyway, yeah. No, dreams are weird as shit. There was this one where I was like in a pimp mall, and I say that in multiple senses, because it was like a mall where like all the lights were red and purple, and like the floors were like carpeted red, and it had those like glass railings, and like you could see multiple floors, like it was that circle in the center and the lines going in 4 ways out, escalators, and it kind of looked like a cross between the outfit of a pimp and a labyrinth of a mall, I mean it in multiple senses, because I'm pretty sure a pimp was walking me around the place while a bunch of people were getting freaky, and honestly, I have no idea what that dream was. Like obviously I know what it was, but like there were fucking, like those circular cushions with the big thing in the middle that's supposed to be like your backrest, but it's not really functional, because, well, I mean, I guess it is, but it was like, animal prints, and people were getting freaky all over the place. Like, I think I had a premonition about a Diddy party, honestly. Like, I may have been being walked around by Diddy. Also, to mention, I was like, I don't think I was 12 when I had the dream. I think I was like most people's 12 when I had the dream. Because, like, in terms of puberty and shit, I did not hit that until way late. I was a fucking squeaker. Literally, I'm pretty sure, like, at 15. Like barely 15, but at 15, I was still fucking and short as hell. Literally everything came to me late. So yeah. So I don't think I was actually 12. I was probably 14 or something. But I was everybody else's equivalent of 12. Because people at 12, were actually starting to go through puberty, guys and girls around me. And I was just like, I look like I'm 7. It was a nightmare. Now it doesn't matter to me at all, because it's like, okay, I look like 16, I'm 19, whoop-de-doo. Like, I don't really care. It's all the same to me. I look like I have 4 arms in my shadow. Whoa. That's, you can't see this, but it's kind of weird, because like the 2 bottom arms are so significantly smaller. So it's like I have like 2 like child-sized arms along with my normal arms. Anyway, but like it was like during the start of my puberty, and I was having Diddy party dreams. It's weird. It's weird. This may be like retroactive gaslighting, but I swear the pimp vaguely resembled a pimp named Slickback. Like he had, I'm pretty sure he wore a purple suit. Like nothing about his facial features or anything resembled a pimp named Slickback. Like none. Like he did not resemble a pimp named Slickback in any like physical sense. It was just purely outfit. Like it was a purple outfit, like cheetah print or something, leopard print, whatever. So, you know, not cheetah print. Cheetah print's like smaller, and like it was leopard print. So like outfit wise, it resembled a pimp named Slickback. Also, I didn't watch the Moondogs until I was like 16, so it wasn't any like of my brain inserting that into the dream. But I swear, his outfit looked pretty close. And maybe I'm misremembering what pimp named Slickback looks like. Anyhow, also, okay, I don't know if I can still do it. I don't even know if I'm really in the frame. I am gonna tuck my shirt in. I'm not gonna go shirtless for this. But I used to be quite good at walking on my hands. And handstands. Because I was in a tumbling class for 3 years. And it was cool as shit. Ooh, we're gonna get to that in a second. Wait, did I talk about that? I don't think. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. Sometimes I'm remembering things that I thought and said in my head when I'm talking to myself. And I'm like, did I say that in a video? I don't think I did. Anyway, yeah, I did tumbling for like 3 years, which is like gymnastics, but without the equipment. Like there was some equipment, but like primarily without the equipment. Okay. Oh fuck, I haven't done this in forever. Okay. Maybe I should stretch a bit. Anyway, dreams are weird like that. They suck. Oh, okay. Whoa. I mean, no, dreams don't suck. What am I talking about? Okay, fuck. You wouldn't think that you would need to work out your legs for that, or like stretch out your legs for that, but you do. Okay. Oh, fuck. Muscle memory, it exists, but I have not done this in like a year, at least. So, okay. Yeah, there we go. Man, that was like one of my less impressive. Man, when I was at my peak, I was cool. Now I'm just some loser who can kind of do it. Fuck, I need to really get into that. Okay. I got this. Okay. I gotta engage everything. I used to be able to do it without thinking about it. Now I really have to engage, like, my whole body. Okay. Fuck. Well, you know, honestly, not terrible for how rusty I should be. You know, I never fucking stretch. I never practice. If I practiced again, I could probably be pretty good. I should practice that more. I really like doing that. Everybody's like, oh, that's so awesome. Also, when my tumbling teacher was like, hey, go practice crab walks. It's not this, okay? That is not a crab walk in tumbling terms, you know? Crab walks are when you go like a creature and you fucking... Also pretty rusty at that, but my tumbling teacher told us to practice crab walks. Like, at one class, and I was like, fuck it, we ball, you know? Bet, let's do it. So, I went home, I practiced the entire week, and I came back, and I was better than everybody in my class. And I could fucking run across because we had this big blue mat. I could fucking fucking zoom across that mat. It was fucking awesome. he was like, hey, you're really good at that. I'm like, I did exactly what you told me to. I practiced all week, and guess fucking what? This, it was like, dope. Everybody, see, when you listen to what I say, you get results. And I used to practice walking on my hands all the time because it was fun. And I was way better than I am now. That's just because I haven't practiced. I really need to do it. I have no stamina. I never have had stamina, but whatever. Okay. I need to practice that more too. Anyway. What was I saying? Ah, yeah. Oh, wonderful. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about this. It is a recent realization. And by I mean, like, okay. It's something I kind of thought about a year ago. And it's something that for some reason has decided to haunt me now. It's not something I've constantly thought about, you know? It's just a little regret of mine. So, I did Tumbling. I mentioned that. And it was a really good segue into this. Because during Tumbling, I met this girl. I you know, I don't know what to say about her, really. She was cool. We used to talk during Tumbling, and my Tumbling teacher would always be like, you know, this is a Tumbling class, not a socializing thing. And, you know, he would say that, you know, when people were talking, he never really called us out that often. I think it was really only when people at the front of the line were talking. And, you know, the line fluctuates or moves, and so we were at the front of the line, so I don't know what was his decision for when he would say it. I think it was really when I was just disrupting the class. And I was like, nah. And what I mean by disrupting is like, whenever, you know, people talking would, you know, disrupt the flow of the line, because he would have us go down the blue mat with whatever we were doing. You know, if we were doing flips and tucks, and, you know, I never got super advanced, but I could do some pretty solid flips. I have front handsprings, front step outs. I never really got my back tucked down or anything like that, or my back handspring, because I had mental block about going backwards. You know, everybody does inherently. Now I can do backflips all day on the trampoline. I was like, wow, this is so easy, and but it's a mental thing. I tried to teach my friends, they just can't do it. I don't even know what in me but all of a sudden I can do backflips on the trampoline. Regardless. Right, I don't remember. I don't think I met her my first year of Tumbling, but I'm pretty sure I did 2 years of Tumbling with her. I don't know, it felt like a while. And I was doing the Tumbling at a dance studio. I was also taking dance classes, but I wasn't in any of her dance classes because she'd been doing it like her entire life and she's really good at it. But somehow I was in her Tumbling class. And we like pretended to hate each other. I pretended to hate her. Part of me believed it, I think. Well, I don't think most of me did. You know, we would snipe back and forth at each other, you know, be kind of mean in a general sense. But we didn't really hate each other. At least I don't think we did. At least I don't think she did. I didn't really. And, when signing up for my 4th year of dance, my mom looked at the classes and looked at the schedule, and was like, it really doesn't fit. And she said she'd go, check in person, so I just trusted her to do that. Apparently, though, I was old enough to go check for myself, which I didn't know because she said she would do it. I don't really hold it against her. I probably would have kept complaining. I was required to take ballet for 3 years, even though after year 1, I was like, I kinda hate this. I took other styles of dance also, but my first year ballet was an hour long per class, and it was once per week, and I was like, okay. And then it was like an hour and a half long, and I was like, for the next 2 years, I was like, fuck, dude, I don't want to spend an hour and a half doing this. I already hate it. Like, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to do this. And I enjoyed my other classes. I enjoyed the fuck out of tumbling. Tumbling was so cool. I really should have kept up a lot of stuff. I actually can, in certain circumstances, still do an aerial, which, if you don't know, is a cartwheel with like no hands, and it's so cool. But like, I have to stretch, I have to really put my fucking leg behind it, and honestly I can't do it that often, but I can do it. Still, muscle memory is a fucking drug, dude. I love it. Anyway, that's not the point. I just ended up not going back, which means that the people that I knew, they just never heard from me again. I thought I was going to the tumbling camp. I never did. I thought I was, pretty sure I started 5 years ago. Yeah. Fuck. I mean, damn. Almost sick. Damn. Yeah. Sheesh. I did it for 3 years, which means it's almost been 3 years since I've been. Anyway, so that was why I didn't go back. I kind of wish I had now, but that's not the main thing. The main thing was that, or is that, I don't know. I would say, honestly, pretty good friends with that girl. Whenever we were at, dance-related things, because I ended up getting put in a production of the Nutcracker without auditioning, because there were auditions and everything, and they just were like, hey, we're missing a few spots. Wanna help? And I was like, sure. Why not? So I was in a couple of roles. It was like, I learned the choreography. I did the shit. Okay. I put in the work. Whatever. I don't know. I was background characters. I didn't really want to do it anyway. So I was just hanging out. And we talked, while we're in the hallway and shit. And by in the hallway, I don't mean standing around. I mean, literally sitting down in the hallway for one reason or another. Maybe we're waiting on a room, maybe I don't know. But we talk there, we talk and tumble. I would say we were pretty good friends. And honestly, I felt weirdly comfortable talking to her. In a way that I kind of hadn't felt with a lot of my friends. I don't know, she just felt like someone that I enjoyed being around, but also she felt like someone that I could say the things to that I couldn't say to my, to some of my other friends. She kind of let me be unfiltered in a time where I thought I really needed to be filtered. And I appreciated that. and I still appreciate that. And there's a couple moments that I'm remembering back to where she may have, and honestly, like, I'm not gonna assume, and I hate assuming. Like, a lot of the times I will break things down logically. Sometimes I'll overthink them and overanalyze them, and it won't be as deep as I'm making it. And sometimes it'll be correct, and honestly, I just hate assuming. But I think she may have, like, had romantic interest in me at one point. Maybe. I have no idea. I'm a little slow. Kind of by choice. It's not, like, a lot of people are like, guys are so oblivious, and a lot of guys are like, no, we're not. But what people don't understand, I think, is that it's not so cut and dry. And, you know, not all guys, certainly. But in my own personal experience, I see a lot of signs. And I see a lot of things that could be interpreted as signs. And, you know, I overthink, I overanalyze, I read into everything, which has kind of become just this trap, because now you're seeing everything. You might even be seeing things that aren't there. And so I in my own personal experience, I just don't trust my own personal judgment with that type of thing, because it's such a sensitive thing where it's like, if you're assuming that somebody has romantic interests in you, or you're using, you know, your evidence that somebody has romantic interest in you, you could just have accidentally fabricated things that weren't what they seemed. And, you know, now you're in a position where it's like, you're wrong. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I really suck at trying to decipher things, not because I'm incapable, not because I'm oblivious, but because my awareness and understanding of the signs is something I'm afraid of. And that sucks. But I think she might have been into me. I don't know, this one time we were, you know, being and I think at one point she was like, oh, I had, you know, like, I had a crush on you. I was like, and I was like, oh, what? She was like, you know, my bloodlust has a crush on you. And I was like, I don't know. And the worst part is, and I may have mentioned this before, I may not have mentioned this before, but, you know, starting 6 years ago, I did not know, you know, the girl that I was talking about from Tumbling and Dance. I didn't know her 6 years ago. Pretty sure I met her in my second year of Tumbling. But 6 years ago, I got a crush. 6 years ago, I got a crush on a girl. And, you know, that crush, you know, kept blossoming, and eventually I told her, and she claimed to like me back. And in hindsight, it was probably because she didn't know how to react to the just suddenness and brazenness of the confidence I had for some reason. I don't know where it fucking came from, but I'd like it back, please. Anyway, she said she liked me too.
she said she wasn't ready for a relationship. That made sense. Okay, we were like 14 and 13. That's 100% reasonable. But still, I was on fucking cloud 9. And we were kind of in a situationship, because, you know, I was young for that. Especially in, you know, that circle. And then, you know, months later, she's like, I don't know how I feel about you anymore, which was pretty much just, you know, it was, I don't like you, okay? And so I spent some of that time being like, well, maybe she still likes me, but maybe I was just being too much. Maybe I was just too extra. Maybe I was just expressing too much feelings because, you know, she's not ready for that type of thing. I don't actually think she ever liked me now. And she's adamant that she never even said she liked me, which is fucking wild. Like, we deleted our Discord messages at the time. Yeah, because I don't know, we were fucking weird. We were like, oh, this kind of talk, gotta delete the messages. But I have eyewitnesses. I have people telling me that she made diary entries about me, so I don't fucking know what's going on. Whatever. It doesn't matter whether she did or did not like me at the time. The point is, I was really confused. I was trying to find a reason. I was, you know, this, that, the other way. And I was like, okay, she did lose feelings at this point. I know that for sure. So I was like kind of feeling, you know, fucking sad and shit and all the stuff that comes along with being 14 and, you know, liking somebody. And then, you know, I still liked her. I didn't know what to do about it. And like a year after that, it kind of seemed to me like she might have started liking me again. And so it kind of reignited the spark and it kept going. And for worse, probably. Yeah, for better or for worse, learning experiences. But like, I pretty much gaslit myself into falling in love with her. And it sucks. Yeah, I spent 3 years, almost 4 actually, almost 4 years, chasing after someone who not only didn't want me, but like even just the idea of someone who didn't want me. And right in that pocket happens to fall the aforementioned story. Not the aforementioned story, but the story that I unfolded before I got to this part. Maybe aforementioned is the right word, I don't know. And I guess it's just sad because I was comfortable being vulnerable with the girl from my tumbling class in a way that I hadn't really been able to be with my other friends. And it wasn't because I didn't trust my friends as much. It wasn't because I didn't care about my friends as much. It was just because it was a kind of vulnerable that I was just starting to learn. And it was nice to talk to her. Even though we were like pretending that we hated each other. We all have specific things that we want to talk about. We may even want to talk about everything in general. And the everything that we want to talk about is split up into different categories. And some categories you talk to with some people, and then there are some people where you can talk to about pretty much every category. And then there are some people you can talk to every category. And now I've got like one person that I can talk to every category and like two other people that I can talk to most categories. And they're all men. Fuck my life, dude. But she was like the first person that I could talk to about that specific category. And that specific category, and honestly just talking in general with her, made me feel seen in a way that I really wasn't before. And part of it was just that I never came around anymore. But I think that I closed myself off to a certain degree because I was still hanging on the fucking titanium, apparently, thread of hope that this other girl might like me. And in my mind, and of course, fucking stupid child brain, but in my mind, that translated to I can't get too close to any other girls. Because what if she does? It was stupid. But me leaving might not have affected that as much. Not even on the off chance that I was able to hypothetically, reciprocate her hypothetical advances, because honestly I'm not even sure if she was actually making advances. But even if I just didn't close myself off, because I was being vulnerable, but only as vulnerable as I let myself be. It was a new kind of vulnerable. It was new territory, and it did make me feel awesome and feel genuinely heard and seen. But if I had have just allowed myself to actually be friends with her, because look, dude, I don't even know if I can quantify us as friends. We saw each other once a week where we actually talked. Occasionally during Nutcracker stuff, and in the hallways during other classes. Well, or before other classes. That was it. And now, thinking back on it, there definitely was a time what I mean is, thinking back on it, it might not have been a lot. We might not have even really been friends in the way that I feel like I'm remembering it now. But whether or not we were friends doesn't affect anything else I said, really. Because at the end of the day, we still talked the way that I said we talked. And I still was able to be vulnerable in a way that I wasn't with my other friends. And if she saw this, which is not happening ever, she might even contest that point. But she would contest that point because it's from her perspective. Or she wouldn't necessarily contest that point, but she might contest that point because it's from her perspective.
and she doesn't see how our, stupid talks, because they weren't of huge substance. I may have made this sound more important than it was, but they weren't of amazing substance. They weren't philosophical, deep talks. So it could be said that I'm lying and that, I wasn't really being vulnerable. But to me, what we were talking about was vulnerability. What we were talking about was stuff I would never dare talk about with any of my friends. Never in a million years at the time. They might have been silly. We might not have been friends, and I might be retroactively being delusional, and she might not have even liked me. But I'm honestly just grateful that we got to talk it all. Even if it was stupid conversation, even if it meant nothing, even if I probably said really cringe things at the time, here and there, I think it was important for me. And I think I ruined it. I think I ruined the chances of that even becoming a friendship. If it wasn't, or the chances of continuing that friendship after I left the dance studio, if it was. And that's what feels like a fucking gut punch. Was she really pretty? Yeah. Was she prettier than the girl I was going after? Yeah. Does it sting? Yeah. But there's no guarantee that she even liked me. And maybe she doesn't even remember me. Maybe she, has not thought of me since I left. Maybe the talks meant nothing to her. I mean, for a while, I didn't even think of them. Shit, I didn't even remember her until last year. It wasn't a year ago, it was last year. Last fall. Northern Hemisphere fall. I was working as security at an event, and yeah, I was working as security at an event, and I thought about her, and I was like, realistically speaking, I'm the universe's fucking biggest bag fumbler. Of course, while talking to potentially thousands of people, because my old biggest video on my channel before my fucking I'm fucking back stupid video, my biggest video before my I'm back, I'm a dumbass, whatever video, hit 1,000 views recently. My oh look, this dumbass is back hit 2.8 thousand. It'll probably hit 3,000, honestly. I don't even think it's peaked. Literally, I have not posted in over a month. My views in the last 28 days, well, I had not posted in over a month. when I, posted the I'm back video. My views in the last 28 days are like over 5,000. So potentially thousands of people could see this. And so now that a bunch of people could see this, I am going to clarify that there is a decent, I would even say a good chance that she actually did not like me at all. And that I am retroactively being delusional. I don't think that's the case, especially because of that one interaction that I can remember. Just sucks, honestly, because whether she could have been a friend or more, it's inconsequential. It was just something that it's my fault that it ended at all. That I wasn't able to be that vulnerable in that way anymore. I don't know. But the thought of it makes me sad. And also, to be fair, I forgot about it after I, worked security at that event, because it really doesn't hold that much weight in my day-to-day. But I thought about it again recently, and I've been thinking about it for the past couple of days. Fuck, does it feel terrible. It doesn't even, might not even really be all about her. Like, it's a lot about her, for sure. But it feels like a part of me just atrophied and died. And it feels terrible. Not because it died, but because I'm remembering it died. Like, dude, I'm the fucking biggest idiot in the world. On multiple levels. And I know life is gonna be filled with people that you regret aren't in your life anymore. And I'm not gonna try and track her down. I'm not gonna try and reconnect. Because honestly, if she does remember me, she probably doesn't care. And even if she does, it's probably not gonna be the same. There's no point in trying to reconnect. There's no point in trying to find her again. Honestly, the only way I could think of is by trying to social media stalk, and that is so unbelievably difficult when you have nothing to go off of. You don't even know what social media is. It's just, first of all, it's kind of weird. I don't even know if I'm in frame. First of all, it's kind of weird. And second of all, it's sometimes you're just gonna have people who are out of your life. Sometimes it's on purpose, sometimes it's not. And I can't even remember if we were close enough to warrant any kind of reconnection, which probably means we weren't. But it makes me sad. There's nothing I can do. I think that hurts. I don't know why. It's honestly pretty silly. Someone that I've literally not spoken to in years. It wasn't on purpose. It's just months turned into years. I never went back. I never even got to say goodbye or anything.
if I had have said goodbye, maybe I would have at least had contact information. On the very, very slim chance that this is seen by this individual, she'll know who she is. And if she doesn't know who she is, then she doesn't, and it doesn't matter. She should know who she is. And if she doesn't remember me, then it never mattered enough to warrant us talking again. But honestly, I don't even think anyone from my specific suburb has seen any of my videos. Yeah, a couple thousand views is a lot, but a couple thousand views isn't going to be seen by specific people. Honestly, it's partially what's helped me get away with making these videos, and nobody in my life knows. Literally nobody. My grandparents don't know, my parents don't know, my friends don't know, none of my friends know, my brother doesn't know. My brother probably won't find out because I doubt this video will get recommended to him, but he does watch YouTube. I have this other friend who honestly I would tell, but I'm not going to, because it's a strict nobody rule. But if there was anybody I would tell, I'd tell him. But he watches very specific channels, and only those channels. He doesn't browse YouTube ever, so he will probably never see any of my videos, although if I did pop up on his recommended, he would click just because of sheer confusion. And then a lot of my friends don't use YouTube or watch vastly different content. It's just the odds of someone in my life finding out about these videos, very, very slim. The odds of one specific person who's not even in my life anymore finding these videos, way slimmer. By a lot. A few thousand views, it's good. There are billions of people. Literally, I don't know. I'm not expecting that she'll find this. I'm not even really hoping that she will, because how do you fucking explain that? Hey, yeah, what's up? I'm just being needlessly vulnerable and yapping on the internet now. What's good with you? Oh yeah, I've done literally so many things, and we're completely different people than we were. I don't know, we didn't even know each other that well. I don't know why it makes me so sad. Because honestly, thinking about it now, I think that any potential romantic interest she had in me is irrelevant. Almost irrelevant in terms of the sadness. I think it can't be totally irrelevant because I'm a lonely sack of shit, but it's almost irrelevant. I don't even really care if she would be into me or not, honestly. I guess I'm just feeling incomplete because a piece of me is dead. And every time I think about those conversations, and every time I think about her, I'm reminded that that piece of me is dead. I don't even think I want to reconnect. Maybe obviously, there's no point. We went two different directions in life, and probably wildly different. I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking about the past right now. most of, like, 99% of the past. I just don't care. You know, the past is the past. I don't know why this particular part of the past makes me feel this way. I can't even tell if I've lost a friend or if I've just lost an ability to speak in a certain manner. I don't know that we were ever friends. I don't know. Maybe we started being alienated even before I actually left. I don't know, so many things are going through my head right now. So many things. Fuck my life, dude. Well, that went from mystifying to fucking weird to sad as fuck. If anybody at all watched to this portion of the video, please comment sad as fuck, R.I.P. with like a gravestone and the wilted flowers emoji. And then like add whatever you want to the comment because I don't care. I'm a loser who's reminiscing on a past that might not have even been real. You know? I mean, it was literally real, but you know, might not be the way that I perceived it. Because who knows, maybe I'm just a delusional fuck. Anyway, that was emotionally exhausting and anxiety inducing. So, I'll catch you on the next one.